Come on over, it's time for Tim Friend. So, as you can see, I'm not a professional Advanced Wars player. The grade for that first chapter was C because I got no points in speed. But as I said earlier, I don't give a shit. It's all about shit. Whoops, I hit the touch screen. I don't really give a fuck how bad I'm doing. I just want to get through it. So yeah, we'll save the game and we'll move on to the next chapter. We're doing this because I wanted to play Advance Wars. Didn't know how much time I had to record today. So, and I know I'm sort of there's been a little gap in episodes for a couple days. So I wanted to fucking give you guys something before I know I'm gonna be able to get more time for the fucking Fire Emblem playthrough. Because there's a big old chapter coming up, and I want to make sure that I've got enough time to do all of it that day. Because it's just enormous. Alright, so this chapter is stupid. It's not... I mean, okay, so there's this river, right? Vehicles can't go over the river. So these tanks and artillery would have to go all the way around to the bridge, right? Well, looks like there's a mountain chain, and the vehicles can't go over the mountains. So these tank, artillery, and tank can't get at me. All they're doing is blocking off these 4 cities from my capture. And that's important, because this is the first mission where I get to fucking build units by myself. So, fuck man, that's a pain in the ass. Because each city gives me more money to spend on units. I want to spend money on units. I want to do that. God. It's also going to be difficult for me to transition from Fire Emblem because everything moves, like, simultaneously faster and slower. Like, the infantry move 3 squares. These mechs move 2 squares. And then tanks move 6. And fucking recon move 8 on the right terrain. It's insane. So it's a much faster game than Fire Emblem, where Fire Emblem would be like, alright, we're setting up this entire turn so we can have one particular fight happen. Possum Spit. A man said Possum Spit. Excuse my burp. So it's much faster, or it can be much faster than Fire Emblem. Shit, that guy's coming right for me. God damn. Oh god. Okay. So, this is really scary. Grit is the worst. He's a fucking nightmare. When I say Grit, I'm referring to the enemy commanding officer. It's just, he's super fucking strong. All of his range units have an additional range. If that doesn't sound ridiculous, trust me, it fucking is. He's fucking scary overpowered. But fortunately, in this mission, we almost can't lose if we try hard enough. Just because we can build new units. And he can't. He can't even build new units. He's just stuck with what he has at the start. Which is hilarious. But, like, if he was able to use all of his units, and if he rushed us with all his units, he could win. Because he's really got an impressive arsenal here. His rocket units, look how fucking far they shoot. Jesus Christ. Jesus. And 2 medium tanks to start with against my literally 2 infantry to start with. Like, he would kick my ass. But it looks like he's not rushing me with everybody. What is he, an American hero? Because he should Mount Rushmore. Terrible. Just awful. But looks like not everything's coming at me at once. He's leaving 2 rockets, a medium tank, and a regular tank behind. And of course, these vehicles can't charge me. So, jokes. Looks like I am going to sneak that city out from under the guns of that artillery across the river. That will be annoying. Yeah, if he devoted all the resources to kill me, that might be enough. But I've gotten pretty good at stalling in this game, so even then it might not be enough. Like, they gave me a perfectly winnable... It's like idiot-proof. They gave me like an idiot-proof scenario. And that's fine. I'm down with that. But it's also like, even on hard mode, all you have to do is just survive the initial rush, and then it's solving a puzzle. And I mean, to be fair, that, like I said, that's what strategy games are, is solving a puzzle. But like, this puzzle is like, you can make your own pieces to solve this puzzle. You can make as many pieces as you want until the puzzle is solved. And that's more boring. Eventually it'll get to missions where both sides can make shit, or like, neither side can make shit, and that's the more interesting stuff. Because then it either becomes about like if neither side can make new units, then it's about using the units you have to the best of your ability and making sure that you're the one with the last unit, essentially. Or it's about fucking like if both sides can make units, about who can make the right units and who can make units the most efficiently. Like even though both sides can make units, it's about using your units the most efficiently so you can sort of win via attrition. Like you get me? You get me on that one? Like it can be such a fun game when both sides are relatively equal in that aspect. All right, we're gonna make another artillery here, and then we probably should be good on artillery because he's only got a tank and a recon charging at us, and that's okay. So Grit, like I said, he's a commander. He's the enemy commander. All of his ranged units, not only do they have additional range, but they have additional combat strength. But his melee range units suffer for it. They don't have like less range because their range is 1, but they do less damage, and it's significant. Like even though he's got a medium tank, so it's sort of looking like he's kicking the shit out of my tanks, he's doing less damage than he would normally. So I'm not super afraid of his tanks. It's just the rockets and artillery are so scary strong that like whenever you fight whenever you fight 2, it's like you're gonna lose a unit no matter what. Oh gosh, excuse me. So it looks like his infantry are starting to get across the river here, and that's okay because there's only like 4 of them total, and it looks like my recon's gonna blow away most of this mech. Hopefully, I mean, it's possible that he might like retreat that mech just to heal it back up. I kind of hope he doesn't, just so that I don't have to deal with it later. But if he does, that'll be okay, because that's one less I have to deal with now. And right now is sort of the critical point where I have to be the like fucking ABC, except the C stands for killing. I have to always be killing. So it's like it's not the worst thing that could happen if he retreated. But because then it would just let me build up more, and he would not be building up. Fuck off with that infantry. Fuck off with his recon. I just gotta. But you know what? That's part of the strategy here. Is just take my lumps and get better. Move on. You know, moveon.org. All right, cool. It doesn't look like his AI is letting him retreat his units to heal them up, which is something that he should have done. But like, I guess if I wasn't going like. If I really wasn't going for rank, I could just sit here until I hit the unit cap and then throw, I think it's 50 tanks at him, and that would probably do it, you know? I think that would probably end it, considering he has less than, probably around 10 units left. Maybe like 12. But still, that's not enough, not enough. So, this, like I've said, and we'll probably keep saying, this mission's not that great. But it does show you how scary Grit is. So I guess it's sort of like an invisible tutorial in its own right. It's like, what I mean by that is, like, there are some tutorials where it's like, a fucking dialogue box comes up and it's like, press A to jump. Jump now. And then you jump and you're in like this featureless white void. And like it's literally just walking you through the controls or something like that. Like that would be the most visible tutorial. But like an invisible tutorial is like this, where it's giving Grit a good selection of his shit and letting you sort of deal with it in an environment where you're not going to be super punished for blowing it. Because like you're probably going to blow it the first time you go against Grit, just because you're going to lose a unit that you didn't expect to use. And that's okay. But if you do lose that unit, you can always make more, and Grit can't, so you're not going to get fucking carpet bombed by just swarms of his rockets and shit like that. And I think in fact Grit's overpowered, just plain and simple. He's rigged, especially in later games where he gets like, okay, god, yeah. So he's using his CO power now, which is snipe attack, which further increases his range on his ranged units and increases the damage they deal even further. So his rocket is shooting like a fucking third of the way across the map at my artillery. That's enormous. Look at that range. It's insanity. It's hilariously overpowered. It's so good. And I don't think there's even a mission in the normal campaign you can do where he can build units, just because, like, I imagine it's because he's just that fucking strong, is that the game won't let you won't let him fight against you because he would just win every time. Because like it doesn't matter that his melee units suck. All I have to do is go out and die instead of instead of his ranged units. Like he literally has no use for melee units. Like look at this shit. His fucking artillery shoots farther than a rocket. Like it shoots farther than a normal rocket. His rocket is like, look at this. If he put that in the middle of the map, it could probably hit both sides of the map. That's madness. That's fucking madness. So yeah, Grit's ridiculous, and that's why this mission's so easy, because Grit is insane. And we're gonna get into more missions where he's like he's really scary, because like I don't know. He's got like an opposite that we get to play as. His name is Max, and he's really strong in melee range and just awful at ranged. And it's sort of like, oh, the two sides of the coins, whatever. But it's really just like Grit. Like, oh, I guess Max is really strong in this one. In later games, Max gets nerfed, but he gets pretty fucking strong in this game. What the fuck am I trying to say? So like, there's some missions where you like play Max against Grit or whatever, and I know there's like hidden forks in this game. So in like fucking Advance Wars 2, you literally get to choose the order to some degree. You get to choose the order that you do the missions in, which I do like. That's sort of a cool way to do it, so you don't get just like stuck on a mission and then you can't beat the game. So it was good for middle school and earlier Tim, but it also meant that you could just avoid hard chapters and then you get to the end of the campaign, and the end of the campaign is just fucking bullshit. Like it's ridiculously hard. Advance Wars 2 is on the Wii U Virtual Console, and I played through the campaign on normal because I was going to be like, oh, I'll play through the campaign on hard mode for Tim Friend. But then I got to the end mission, and I tried it like 5 times and couldn't beat it, and I threw the Wii U gamepad down in disgust. And I was this is just fucking bullshit. I hate this game. And I raged a little bit, and then I calmed down, but I didn't play it again. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, it makes the game feel like there's just an enormous difficulty curve spike at the end. And even when I played recently, I played every single mission in the campaign, including the semi-secret ones. And the last mission is just so much harder than all the other missions before it that the pacing is just, it makes it feel bad. Like it's not even like you're dealing with some new shit, and you have a turn limit, and the enemy commander is broken off the clock, crazy, super strong. So it's like, fucking why? And in this game, the enemy commander is not crazy broken. The enemy commander is actually fairly balanced, if I'm remembering correctly. He's got really good offense and really just terrible defense. I'm talking about like the guy at the very end of the campaign. Every other commander is balanced and imbalanced in their own little innocuous ways. Whoops, forgot about that artillery. That's an inkling of what you're in for here on Tim Friend. If you're new to the show and you found me via fucking Advance Wars, awesome. That's really cool. I love Advance Wars, and I'm glad you like it enough to watch these videos. But hopefully you'll watch the next one too. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me if you want to see more strategy games. I'm gonna do them anyway, basically no matter what you tell me. Anyway, see you next time on Tim Friend. Tim Friend.